5, 4, 3.
Oh, 7 star citizens, and I am on the other side of the room. Welcome back to Answer the Call, your weekly Star Citizen call-in show / podcast, where we talk about everything that's happened more or less within the past week. At least that's what this year's episodes have all been. It's essentially just news updates because there's always so much news. I am here, of course, as always, with Mike, the godfather of the podcast. How you doing?
Well, yeah, I'm the great grandfather, I guess, right? Since I started this podcast in 2000 and I don't know, but yeah, we're here. Answer the call. Another week of waiting, sadly, but got some updates, which is cool. So just a note for everybody, today's gonna be a little bit shorter, so we're gonna try to get the calls pretty quick. And yeah, it was a bit of a slow week as far as things go. SCL got canceled, things like that. So the general topic of today is we're gonna talk to you, both of us are Nevo Kadi. We're gonna talk to you guys about our experiences with Fridays in particular. Friday in particular's Evo update and the cargo missions that are available inside that update. And then we had a monthly report. We could touch on that a little bit. And there's a sneak peek that I think is kind of interesting, as well as a couple other things. So we're going to talk to you guys about a few things, jump into the callers, and let them chat with us about that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Easy peasy.
Also, a reminder, if you do want to get into the calls, it's probably too late again today. But if you want to get in for early next week, you can go to the Discord link, which on the YouTube, I'm going to a link right now. I'm on my game today for sure. But you can follow that link, and then you just sit in the green room. That's all you guys need to do. So yeah, make sure you do that.
Yeah.
What should we start with? I feel like the bulk of today's conversation is obviously going to be about Evo. And I imagine that a lot of the comments are going to be, a lot of calls are going to be about Evo. So do we want to start with monthly report?
Sure. I think monthly report's pretty short too. Like I only have one particular thing that stuck out to me that I would like to talk about, and that's radar. Is there anything that you would like to talk about that wasn't radar?
Is it 11 ships? 11 unannounced ships? Some large number. Let me get it up real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of ships in the pipeline. Now that makes a lot of sense. We are approaching IAE period where we're going to find out about a lot of these ships.
Yeah.
But that is still 7 unannounced ships. That is quite a few. 2 of them heading towards Grey Box. Last nearly finished. And also the way that they tend to talk about these in the monthly reports, likely it's still possible, but likely not variants. Because they usually tend to, actually mention that if it's a variant that's in production.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly get too excited about this stuff. They will be cool when we see them. But yeah, it's like, all right, wow, they're working on lots of ships for a sale. Amazing, unexpected news. Of course, there's lots of ships that they're making. This is what they do.
Fair.
So yeah, that one. I did notice that too, obviously. It was like, okay, there are a lot of ships in production. I saw somebody in chat go, the Mega Fury Copium. That's like one of the only silhouettes from SitCon that we have yet to see. So it's likely
as far as
that's
I'm aware,
one of them.
Yeah. Almost certainly, yeah, because it's still technically unannounced. They haven't said anything about it officially, right? So
don't know any names or anything like that on my end. I don't know what sort of speculation is out there, but for me, the one that that stuck out the most is Maelstrom is in the game dev branch, which from a game development standpoint is a very big deal for us. So engineering.
It essentially means that everything that they're testing at the moment now involves like Maelstrom is there as part of it, right?
It's part of the game now. So that's a pretty big milestone. And then they talked a lot about radar. I think it was pretty technical. The thing that stuck out to me, and I'll struggle to find it probably, but think mining lasers. We're going to be putting attachments onto radar to make them more effective at finding certain things. So prospectors and moles are going to be placing on things to find rocks better. Pirates are going to be placing things to find ships better. And there was even one to find FPS players, I think. right? So
Yeah,
there's
this is literally something we asked for. Was it when was 319 last year? Right.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is like literally something we asked for when the 319 rebalance came around. Is
Mhm.
like, yeah, cool. This is awesome. Give us more stuff that we can do to the ship that's gonna like change all that sort of stuff. So cool. Hell yeah. Very
Yeah.
excited that they're doing that.
Yeah. Only other thing is here that ships will emit like big signatures when doing certain things now. Ping
Mhm.
activation, which was a thing a long time ago, it's back. Activating quantum boost, changing master modes, just making it so radar is more impactful and
Mhm.
things like that. So yeah, cool stuff. It's weird. The FPS horde mode is like a maybe thing. The EVA only map is like a probably not thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's there's that economy. This has been tough. I was really hoping we had an SCL this week, but we didn't. We
Yeah.
didn't get that to clarify some things. I think I asked some really good questions on the thread and was hoping to get some answers. But when we get to Evo, I think there's pretty good reasons why they didn't have a
Yeah.
ship this week, so it's totally fine.
I will say it's
Yeah.
almost certain that like anytime one of these shows gets like postponed, it's usually 2 weeks away when they try to do it again. So if we do see it come back, yeah, we're probably gonna be waiting a couple more weeks.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and fingers crossed we see it soonish.
Yeah.
What do you think about ISC this week? Just quickly, like Jared was going to say, people were going to get mad. I was just kind of like, it was just whatever, right? It was not for me. I experienced all these things. They shared
Yeah.
what the experiences were, so I didn't really give a shit. You know?
No, yeah, I think it's one of those ones where it's like it's probably important to do an
Yeah,
ISC on that once a year.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
and that was the one. So hell yeah, do it
Yeah,
for sure. There's gonna be a lot of people that don't know anything about this tech at all, and you're about to see it. You know, like it goes through all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm happy for it. I do still hope though, like we've had a couple of ISCs now that maybe have had a couple of sneak peeks, but that's it in terms of like actual new development.
dude, two
And
ISCs
I'm
ago
itching.
was epic. That might have been the best
Yeah,
ISC like ever with the guns.
yeah,
I
yeah,
loved
yeah,
that one. That one was
yeah.
so cool. And then last week there was like a couple of tiny sneak peeks. Like you
Mm,
saw a freight elevator. Like if you're not an Evo, you saw what a like a scrapyard freight elevator looks like. But
yeah,
if you watch this, you didn't get anything, right? And that's okay.
I'm
Like
also
you said,
I'm 90% certain as well they reused B-roll footage from their server
they
meshing
did.
meeting last year.
They did. They did. They did. But Jared said it was also going to not have a lot of B-roll on SCL last week. So I think they filled in with some of it. I don't see
Yeah, it's
anything
fine.
wrong with this. I don't see anything
Not
wrong
at
with
all.
doing an episode like this. But
Mhm.
don't get mad when I say I thought it was boring. It's not for me. I didn't care because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they're saying things that I knew already, right? I experienced the
Yep.
things that they're telling you what the experience was like. You know, it is what it
Yeah.
is. But so yeah, kind of a nothing burger for a person like myself on that one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You want to talk about sneak peek? I don't know why this
I
has
haven't
me
seen the
intrigued.
sneak peek. Show me the sneak peek. I have not seen it this weekend because I've been so busy.
It seems so
Ooh.
unassuming, but the more you look at it, I should bring up the monthly report again too. There's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
sorts of utility and support armors being made. This is obviously one of them. Which one do you think this is? It's very, with no attachments on, it's very weird. I have my opinion.
I'm thinking recon-y. Like it's got I don't know, like it looks a lot more sleek than a lot of the other armors.
I'm thinking
And
bounty
like
hunter.
you know. Ooh, yeah.
It's
I
very,
feel
it's
like
given police
Mm,
vibes,
that's true. Yeah, that's
right?
true.
It's given
My
police
only thing is,
vibes,
I
the
feel like
colors.
bounty hunter would be like, here's my 12 ammo vests that are like stuck around my body.
That's
You
why
know?
I'm saying there's no attachments on it. So it makes it hard to tell
Yeah.
what it's going to be. Also, this guy's arms, he's like jacked. Like none of our players are this jacked. But yeah, for whatever reason, I think the color scheme is telling me it's more like policey, or like
Mm.
BB says in chat, same thing, player tracker, that kind of thing.
I'd
That's the
believe
vibe
it.
it
Yeah,
gives
I
me.
think as someone else also mentioned, like the cape gives off vibes of like, well, for me, like survivalist as well.
Yeah,
So it's like, I mean, if you're hunting for players, that's sort of within the same wheelhouse as well. So
yeah.
I know
But
it's very
like
cool. I
chat,
love the helmet.
For me, the helmet's the worst part of it, but it,
Oh,
it
really?
looks like
Okay.
tiny. Like it looks like he's got like a peanut head compared to the rest of himself. Like, look at his calves,
Mike's
dude.
got a huge head, guys.
No, I have a peanut head in real life. I have a tiny head.
Well, then there you go. Cosplay it.
Oh, yeah,
There
it's
we go.
perfect. This is me, actually, guys. But no, like the people were asking in chat, what manufacturer is this? All we don't know.
Mhm.
Like I've
Yeah.
done it all, guys. I've zoomed in. You can't really read anything, right? Like, what does that say?
It doesn't really look like a lot of other armors in the game. Like the visor is maybe a little similar to the Mark X's. I don't know who make those, but the Mark
Yeah.
X's.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I think it's so generic that it could be anything. So it's fun to guess what people think it may be.
Yeah, for sure. I am glad that these are finally going into more concept and we're seeing some art from them because, I mean, normally it doesn't take too long for us to get armors. They concept them for a really long time, and then once they actually set an idea, they come through quick.
Yeah.
So
last one before we go to Evo. What'd you think of this?
Oh my god, best paints in the game. By far best paints in the game. We have actual detailed like decals on ships now. It's so sick.
One of them says Cope on the Corsair.
I don't know if it's an E. I've been saying it's Cope, but I don't know if it's actually an E at the end. It's like I think it's like a weird S when you look at it. It's got too many curves. Yeah, it might just be Cops. But for everyone playing the game, it will always be Cope. Yeah.
It's Cope. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. But I gotta say I am disappointed. That's the $10. If $10 a month, that's what you get. $20 a month, that's what you get. And if you want to spend another $9 as a subscriber, then you get the Vulture. Yeah.
And the paints are just leagues above. They're leagues above anything we've had for so long.
Yeah, they're doing the thing where it's like, trying to draw you in and make you spend more money, which sucks. I will say personally, I do love this paint, but it's not my style. Like I wouldn't use this necessarily, but I think it's so cool. It's such a excuse me, it's such a shift from any paint that we've ever had before. It's just so different. It's just I think it'll really vibe with some people, and they're definitely gonna find their new paint. For sure.
They've almost made me. I haven't subscribed for like a year and a half. This has almost made me resubscribe, but then I realized I can just wait for another cool thing, and then I'll just buy it all from the subscriber store later. So I'll give it a little bit of time. I do like that they chose the Vulture and the Corsair, but I would have loved to see the Caterpillar with graffiti along the sides. I think that would have been sick.
I think it'll get there. I think they'll get there with it, but just haven't yet or whatever. You want to get talking Evo?
One more thing probably before Evo. Also, you are sharing me the wrong screen at the moment.
I see. Sorry.
The Jumptown started again. And there's a little bit of drama with Jumptown just because they nerfed the payouts.
Yeah.
So the payouts got nerfed. This is also obviously coming right after we just had Xenothreat. Like that only ended like 2 weeks ago, right? Xenothreat? Not even. Yeah. So pretty quickly into the next one. And yeah, I've been hearing that it's insanely safe. Now, the economy team have had their hands at like every mission recently. I imagine this was their choice to change these prices.
This is clearly part of a rebalance.
And it is still really profitable. It's just not clearly the incentive is not there anymore.
And why is the incentive not there? Because we haven't wiped from the previous broken stuff. We still have a Vulture that can make 500K an hour. You still have a Reclaimer that can make significantly more than that, and so on and so on and so on, right?
Yeah.
So them doing it piecemeal is going to make it more difficult and for us to deal with, because it's not going to make sense, right? So I asked a question for SCL that obviously didn't happen this week, to just be like, hey, 4,000 credits is not a lot of money, and you addressed it last week, but it only makes sense when you address it from the standpoint of lowering everything.
Yeah.
Everything has to come down in order for 4K on a entry-level mission to make sense. Because he got defensive about it, and he justified it. And when we talk about Evo, I think people will understand that that price was not real. But it may be, it may not be. It's hard to say.
Yep.
So,
the other thing as well is like Jumptown, just in general, and it was kind of an issue previously, really, is that it just doesn't scale well. Like,
what do you mean?
Like you can, so because the payout doesn't really, like it obviously doesn't increase by the amount of people you have there, right? You sort of max out at like 4 people running drugs from both
the boxes only come out so fast, right?
Exactly. And so you get into this issue where if you do have lots of people fighting over the one location, if that location doesn't pay out more, then you're actually incentivized to not fight over it. You're sort of incentivized to just like leave it and like try another server or try somewhere else.
There's safer ways
obviously
to make good money.
Yeah, and then reducing the payout even further is obviously worse. But really, I just think there needs to be a way to make it, if there are just more people in the vicinity, it just needs to pay out more. However you end up doing that, I don't know how, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, to be honest with these. I wish there was. I've always said it about Jumptown. I think the incentive should be to hold it more than anything, and it should. It should be because you invested the time to like start it or something like that. Like I always said, like maybe not a buy-in, but like some expensive crypto key that you have to find to like even trigger the thing. Like none of this stuff can exist in the game right now, or whatever. But I do think it suffers from that standpoint as well. Maybe
it needs to be done like money for nothing, where like the longer you control it, the faster it ticks up, right?
Yeah.
So you are incentivized to stay there for longer and get more payout. And I would like that. I don't know if you're someone in chat that would do this more, like let me know, because I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it also just needs like somebody made a suggestion of the exterior of the building spits out the like larger containers or something like that, or and you do it from the I don't know what the answer is. I think all we have to tell them is the juice isn't worth the squeeze, the payout doesn't feel worth it, and I think again this is just another thing that suffers from what Star Citizen will be long term versus what it is now.
Yep.
What are drugs? What's the point, right? Like if it's just another way to make money, then what's the value in it?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's some sort of like resource rush mechanic, which is how they described it in the past. Of this shit spitting out stuff you want and go and get it, right? And the want just isn't there now because there's other means of making money that just isn't as jank, crazy, risky, whatever, right? There's just better options. And I think when you make that the best option to get that specific thing, and the only way to make it the best option to get that specific thing is to make that thing a thing that you want to have instead of just sell, right? So, yeah. But yeah, good looks on bringing that up. Obviously, that was
it's one that people have forgotten because who was bothered to do Jumptown this week?
Some people did, but I didn't. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I really should have though, because if it's still running, I might try. But as a solo, I have not heard a single person complain about Sniper Glint since 323 went live. Not a single human being.
Jumptown was like the one, right? Everyone
that was the
like,
example.
You're not gonna be able to snipe at Jumptown. Interesting. Time to get some snipers.
Yeah.
I wonder how many snipers we can get to surround Jumptown until people realize the glit's there.
Yeah. So it runs until the 9th. I'm off stream tomorrow, so maybe I'll do it.
Nice.
But yeah. So that's that. But now Evo. I guess we should start with there was no SCL, and it appears to be because the people who make the cargo missions were really trying hard to get the cargo missions working for the launch of Friday's Evocati patch. Big patch released on a Friday. It has stayed up over the weekend. And the biggest difference from this update to all the other updates, unfortunately, the biggest change is that it's more stable. So it's fortunate, but it's unfortunate. The biggest change should be cargo missions are in. But the biggest change is how stable it was. It is
Yeah.
significantly more stable than any Evo that we've had up to this point. That is, let's start out with the positives.
Mhm.
We're looking good from that standpoint.
Yep. As well as like I've been hearing lots of good things about people's hangers persisting as well, and everything that they're leaving in there working throughout the patches. Obviously, in the previous patches, it was harder to tell that because you would server error or like crash every 30 minutes. So, I was probably more worried about that in this patch than anything. Is like all of that info actually surviving. You know what I mean?
I was not. I had my mind on
No?
one thing and one thing only: cargo missions. I literally just turned to my wife and said, "The patch is out. I will see you in a few days."
Yep.
Like my goals were very high. Was to basically try to get max rep during this weekend.
Yep. I ended up being very glad that I was busy an hour after the patch went live, after what I heard essentially within the first few hours of the patch. And then only got my sort of foot really into it for like maybe 5 hours this morning.
If you guys watched last week's episode, do you remember the funny story I told? It was the same thing, but with hangers this time. So everybody rushed and tried to open their hangers. And actually, I should probably bring up the patch notes. So on the screen, everybody rushed to get to the hangers, and how they describe the hangers is, they're so proud that, you know, the hangers, they all stand on top of each other. So we're basically phased into each other, but we can't see each other sometimes.
Croncy, we're not supposed to be able to see each other.
Yeah. I think every Evo Cody member, if you spent any time in your hangar, a random ship just joins into your hangar and clips through your ship. It's it's very Evo. So but they're very proud of their choice to layer us on top of each other, which they should be. It's a good idea. I think it makes sense for scaling and all that stuff. It's good. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on it too bad, but that it comes with problems. It comes with a lot of problems, and
some brand new problems, which is kind of cool. With problems I haven't seen before.
You probably haven't seen them because it's been so crashy, right? They probably
I saw the problems. I'm saying it's like it's stuff that I feel like really bad stuff that I feel like we've never encountered in Star Citizen before.
Like what?
Like everyone's hangar being the same and then going between 5 different ships within the same hangar and morphing through them. That's a new fun problem. Yeah.
Fun. Fun, he says. Yeah, but it's been a problem, and it's why I put wave 1 soon ? That's not bait. That's the conversation here. Is given what we've seen, given what we are looking at, how close to this do we think we are now? They were talking how they just missed it, but I'm not getting that vibe at all through this. And this is your first Evo Cody, and we talked a little bit about this before the podcast. This is not a normal Evo Cody cycle at all.
Okay.
So I'll monologue for a little bit here, and I will apologize for it because I know you already heard this, but Evo Cody, like the thing that I look at that is the concern that I have is one thing and one thing only. For anybody who's been in a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, or Evo Cody, can you name a cycle of a patch where you have gone a week and a half and not a single update was posted in a patch notes related to the content that you were playing? So there were bug fixes in there, yes.
Yeah, bugs and crash fixes, yes, but not like features.
Never, ever is this section empty of that kind of content, ever. So this one's very weird.
The only argument I would make is that is the case, but it's usually when it's open PTU and they've only got bugs to fix left. Like
correct, like towards the end. This early, like an Evo Wave 1 time, that's almost never the case. So you can either take it a very positive way or you could take it a very negative way. It is, like you said, maybe all the features are in and all they have to do is bug fix. You can look at this and
Yeah.
theoretically say that that's true. So I don't want to take it negatively. I don't want to take it positively. I want to put it out there and be like, I got my concerns that there's a lot more work to do here. There's a lot of issues that need to be resolved that aren't necessarily bugs. They're design choices that are bad. And we have made, or bad in my opinion, and are not, we're not seeing changes in this section or feature updates or whatever the fuck they call it when they update a previous feature, right? So we're not seeing that at all. That's concerning. PJ and Twitch Chat said they haven't we haven't even talked about Blockade Runner yet. Another concern on there, right? Yeah. But that could be a way.
I have less of a concern about that, mostly just because it's
shit.
Essentially 9 tiles lockdown. Like it's.
I don't care. Like their dynamic events have not drawn my attention very well. Overdrive was the best thing that I've seen in the last few years as far as that stuff goes. Small incremental things that are enticing players to log in the game and play together. Great content for me. The same events over and over again that I've had are not as exciting. So yeah, that I totally even forgot about Blockade Runner. But instance hangers, we're on top of each other, we phase into each other, we're invisible, things like that is coming with all sorts of issues. So the most problematic issue now that we were stable is everybody rushes to the freight elevators and everybody says, I would like to leave my hangar. And when they do, I should say hangar, not freight elevator. When I want to leave my hangar, we get put in a queue. The default time of the queue is 100 seconds per ship, per people trying to leave. I had a 900-second queue to leave my hangar and play the game. In what world is this acceptable ever? And in what world is this the intention for you to scale up to server meshing? It just isn't, right?
Every day one MMO. However, there were people still having queue problems 10 hours after the patch released. Like it was not an issue that just happened right at the start.
Yeah, and I know where you're going, and I would normally be totally fine with your argument, but we are in Evocati. We weren't even in a full server, 100-player cap. This is not day one of an MMO, right? So we're already having scaling issues, and it's concerning. So like
scaling issues are for sure concerning regardless.
Yeah, so like my expectation here would have been throughout the cycle to see an update to. We added more hangars, or we changed the way your hangar spawns so you deal with these issues less often. That would probably be in the bug section, something like that. So yeah, that's where my concerns come from. Overall, cargo stuff was, I want to say, completely fucking broken, but good, but what I experienced, I have no critiques of, really. None.
Interesting. I do.
Go for it. I monologued for a really long time, so go for it. Tell people what cargo missions are. Like, take the floor. I apologize, but I felt like I had to do it since I've had Evo experience for a really long time, and this is definitely a different and unique Evo experience, and it's your first, so it's weird for you for this one to be your first.
Yeah. So the cargo missions are in, although to be fair, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, and I've like talked to Mike and stuff, the only missions that appear to be in are the like the intro certificate missions. Think about how like when you go to do a bounty,
technically,
and you've got to get like a bounty certificate, right? And then they let you have other missions. Yep. The only ones that I heard of were those initial ones. There's
the
Red Wind.
Interstellar Cargo Guild is the only mission that you can get right now.
No. You can get Red Wind, Kovalex, it's one per, similar to the other ones. It's one per planetary system. It was a different faction each time. That was my testing.
Interesting. Okay, that's actually really interesting. That was not mine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we're both wrong. Anyway, I recall it being like that. It was like one per planet, similar to like how you have all the other ones. You accept the mission. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think all of the missions at the moment essentially get you to go to one of the orbital stations and pick up the cargo from there. I didn't hear about it being picked up from anywhere else.
Every start
and then
was an
drop
LEO. I accepted anywhere between 15 and 20 of these missions.
Yeah.
Every start was an LEO. I only finished twice, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. So yeah, you pick it up from there. Essentially how it works is you go, like, so you accept the mission. It says go to this location. The way that you actually get the cargo is you go to your freight elevator. In the storage in the freight elevator will already be whatever you've got to transport. So let's say it's 9 tungsten, right? 9 boxes of tungsten.
Frictionless.
Yep.
I do not have to go to the TDD to go buy it. I don't have to go anywhere. I accept the mission. I go to my hangar. It's there.
Yep. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So you move that into your the pad that you're going to send up, the elevator itself.
Yep.
The cool thing is when you do that, you'll actually see up the top, it'll say the name of the contract above the cargo. So you'll actually know that this is for that specific cargo contract that you're doing.
Well, hold. You are having a totally different experience for me. This is so cool. Mine just said contracted. That's it.
Oh no. So the box will say contracted, like the description will say contracted. But if you actually look at the top of the freight elevator on the UI, I noticed it literally said like whatever the name of the contract was.
Yeah. Okay.
On there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about on the box when you tractor beamed it, and I was like, "Holy crap! This guy is playing a different game than me. This is so crazy."
Guys, aren't we playing 325? It does say contracted though when you do tractor beam. That is pretty cool. I really like that. I think that's a good way and very, very quickly helpful for you to identify what's different because it's very likely if you are doing these cargo missions, you're probably also trying not to waste trips, and you're probably also just moving cargo at the same time. I would imagine that's what this will probably end up becoming as a gameplay loop.
I think it's helpful in so many different ways. Like you should probably be running cargo missions while also doing commodity trading, given where you're going to get maximum value. You may be running cargo missions from multiple different companies, multiple different drop-off points, and you're going to be able to tell the difference. It's good for pirates to know, hey, these are the kind of cargo boxes that aren't really worth as much to me, so on and so forth. So it's just a small thing, but it's a really, really nice bit of change there. Yeah.
Yep. It's a great, just like initial quality of life thing. So huge fan of that.
Yep.
Now all the boxes come out in 1 SCU containers. Huge caveat here.
Only because. Go ahead.
Huge caveat. This is the initial introductory, like once again, like certificate style mission. It is very likely that'll change. Well, I at least hope. I shouldn't say very likely. I hope it is not the case that
patch notes
all of these orders are going to be 1 SCU. Yeah, but we haven't seen these other missions.
Why haven't we seen these other missions, Croncy?
Because we're bad at cargo and we've all got negative rep. No,
that's not true.
Yeah, they're just not there. They're not popping up for anyone as far as I'm aware. I didn't see anyone have them in their contract manager at all.
So I can give like a tiny bit more insight to that, I guess, is I was able to complete these twice, the intro mission. The only things that were blocking me and preventing me from completing other ones were hangar-related bugs. There are probably 80,000 hangar bugs versus 1 bug for cargo missions currently, but the 1 bug for cargo missions is a game-breaking bug, completely broken, breaking the loop altogether. When you complete, like Croncy said, it's the bounty hunter start. So you're getting your initial mission from the bounty hunters guild. I have no idea how you're getting Redwind or anything like that. I honestly think I
definitely saw Covalex. I am not high on that side. I definitely saw Covalex.
Okay. I haven't, but you may have. The only place that I did not run cargo from was Orison, because many people had way more hangar issues at Orison than anywhere else. So maybe Orison's different. I did every other location, Microtech, Area 18, and Lorville. I tried them all. And it was like the Interstellar Transport Guild gave me the mission. It's 3,750 credits reward for anywhere between
that's
6.
Different.
So so you're getting different experiences than me. So
mine was 4K flat.
Okay, weird.
Yeah.
And then, so if we apply that to what we heard last week on SCL,
Yep.
most likely the supply grade 80 SCU is going to pay a lot more, right? So,
Yeah.
there you go. Chill out about that, most likely. And then, yeah, so it brought me to the LEO station, came back to either the city, a distribution center, or an outpost. So the end location was in all different places. It was only an A to B mission. While they said there would be multi to single or single to multi, and that there would be small grade, supply grade, bulk grade. This was obviously a small grade, and that's why it's one SCU. Now, what would happen when you complete the mission is you would get the mission pop up. It would say completed in your Mobi-Glass, but if you played Overdrive and you were like, oh, man, did I complete all the Overdrive missions? They gave you that console command to see if you completed it or not. When I used the console command, it said no completed missions. So there's some bug, there's some disconnect that the game is not recognizing that I completed the mission. So once you complete that mission, you have completed the intro mission. The game is not giving you any of these other ones. And you just sit there and you're like, what do I do now? So there's one major game-breaking bug in this patch over the weekend that is preventing us from seeing what small grade, what big grade, what was the larger one, bulk grade, and whatever higher tier missions look like. So there was no progress to be made. There is nothing to do right now in Evo other than give whatever feedback you had on your hangar experiences and whatever little feedback you had on your cargo hauling mission. I almost put mission, the S in parentheses, because it was just one mission, but they're different from each other. And yeah, so that's the bug.
There's a thing I want to add on to that just because you talked about the finishing the mission.
Yeah.
Ending the end of the mission was like weirdly so satisfying. So you put the cargo, so you go to the location, put the cargo onto the freight elevator. You send it down. When you send it down, on the UI of the freight elevator comes up a little pop-up.
Oh, it's awesome.
One says sell orders. The other one says contract orders. First off, sell orders. CRG. Sell orders. What?
No, it's literally commodity trading. Get excited.
No, I know, but like if there's like extra stuff to it, I'll be excited.
I
know,
regardless, but you're coping.
You press contract orders, and you essentially, I think you select the mission after you do that. Because you only have one mission. There was nothing for me to select, but it shows you the mission you have, and it'll say, for example, one of the ones I completed was 6 SEU, so it'll say 0 out of 6. Now, what I did, because I tried to do as much testing as I could, I put 4 down. Okay. So let's see what happens. Is it going to just be like, oh, you didn't complete it? It updated and said 4 out of 6. Then I put a 5th down. It updated, said 5 out of 6. When you have completed a mission part way or none of the way, you can open your Mobi-Glass and say submit. So you could submit it not done, or you could submit it done. Or you don't have to submit it done. Once you complete it, it automatically finishes. I think they say it right here at the bottom of this paragraph. So that was pretty cool. The UI of this was the opposite of the complaints that I had about the UI previously. The moment you open the freight elevator panel, when you go to get the cargo initially, it's the first thing in front of you. When you go to drop it down, like you said, the UI pops up. It's seamless. It's good. It's smart. And I like it. So yeah, like I have so few complaints about this other than one major bug that didn't work, that caused. Yeah. My only non-bug related complaint was just the 1 SCU boxes. But yeah, if it is the case that it doesn't end up being only 1 SCU boxes,
it shouldn't be. Fine. But we just weren't able to find out if it is or if it isn't, right? But I think for an intro level mission, it's perfect because think about you complaining about 1 SCU boxes, but guess what? Not that they should, and they would never make enough money long term. But if somebody wanted to experience this in an Aurora, they can.
Can you fit a whole SCU box in an Aurora?
You could fit 3.
Oh, that's right. It has the like back end section. Yeah.
Yeah. Or 2 or 3, something like that. So and what's
just
cool
do a
about
couple of quick trips.
Exactly. So you don't have to do it all in one. And that's why I put down 4 to see what would happen. What happens if I need to take multiple trips? I can. So it's like this is all perfectly set up for playing together with friends. Think about when your friends are in your freight elevator, they could drop stuff down. You could drop stuff down in their freight elevators. There's all the sandbox tools are there to make this engaging and fun by yourself or engaging and fun with other players, if you think this kind of content is fun. In the end, it was pick a box up, pick some boxes up, bring them somewhere else. This isn't for everybody. But as far as what a cargo mission would be, especially for its first, I loved it. I loved it. It just does what it's supposed to do. No complaints.
I can very much see myself doing this. There's a lot of like, most MMOs have the activity that you can just do while you're chilling, trying to do other stuff.
Yeah,
this has just been, it's just perfect. The only real times you need to interact are one, if you get pirated. So just don't get pirated. And then when you're offloading and loading the cargo, cool. I can do that for really chill. I don't need to make a ton of money from it. And I'm not risking my own money in the process as well. So so as long as the other missions are good, it's pretty solid knockout of the park.
Yeah. In conclusion, one major bug that prevented us from making progress. So fingers crossed, Monday or Tuesday, we see that. Everything feels pretty rushed. It's concerning. Lots of hangar issues. How quickly are we going to get to wave 1? As of right now, it looks incredibly far away. But miracles happen and things move quickly randomly, right? You get a couple hangar bugs fixed, you get this issue fixed, and we're probably wave 1 ready. So it just depends on how quickly they're able to go through this. This specific bug with the mission not completing thing, we've known this has been an issue for the mission team for actual weeks. So this bug is a difficult one for them to crack. So in conclusion, that's what we got there. Really, really quick before we move to callers, because we got about half an hour left in the show. Unfortunately, we do have a hard stop time today. Law system updates. This is huge. This is huge. So it's a good thing to point out. There's a lot of problems with this still. But you know when you go down to an outpost and there's ships everywhere, you can now, and you would get a crime stat 3 tractor for tractoring them. Now you don't get a crime stat for tractoring ships
or blowing them up. You can blow them up as well.
For real? Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
No longer illegal to damage, destroy, tow, scrape, or structurally salvage.
Oh shit! Nice. Yeah. So essentially, what you can do is blow them up and then tractor whatever the pieces are left out. Because if they have the shields up and power on, you can't tractor them. So yeah, you're going to want to be able to do that. I mean, structurally salvage them will get rid of them instantly as well, right? So clean up, crew, assemble. I'm going to be definitely doing this. I'm super excited.
The amount
for this.
of how many times in the last 7 years have you gone down to a bunker and seen like even before persistence, seen just
Hundreds.
20 ships sitting around, right? So it'd be good to just be like, you know what? I'm going to clean this up so that it looks nicer for me.
Yeah. And for anybody who's unaware of how to check if your ship is owned, real quick, scan it and it will say something like game owner. It'll say something like that. That's how you know the ship is unowned and you won't get a crime stat when you do it. It's game owned, something like that. Where the ownership, game rules. Yeah, that's the one. Where the ownership has been taken away from the player and is now the game who rules over the ship. So that's that. I'm ready to go to callers. Again, we're kind of trying to keep the topics on the subjects that we touched on today for the callers. And
I will also say we did have some good questions for the show, but we'll save them for next week. And if you guys want to do questions for the show, make sure you jump in the Discord and just write up a quick question.
Listen, we got half an hour. We got 3 to 4 callers. If you want, we could skip it. We can fit in a couple there and keep the calls real quick and go for that, right?
We'll go into calls. We'll go into calls.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, we got Expat Brat here. Expat, what's up?
Expat.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me okay?
We hear you great.
Yeah, sounds fantastic.
Okay, wonderful. So, I watched the cargo ISC. I think it was last week, and so I had some points that I thought you guys might be able to help me with, and maybe some people in the chat about a couple of things that kind of stood out to me. So, I've got 5 points, but I know you're under like a time limit here, so I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. But one thing that stood out to me was it said that it's going to be a no buy-in system, and you're just gonna accept the mission and take the mission. Don't you think
Mhm.
that that's gonna potentially make exploiting even more prevalent? That there's no cost to getting
Uh,
this free cargo on your ship.
Yeah, so they've talked about that. There is whether it's going to work or not is a whole issue, but they have discussed it. Essentially, any cargo that you have from a mission will be flagged, and so if
And you
you
see the
try to
flag.
sell it,
Contract.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
If you try to sell it at an illegal terminal, because you can't sell it at a regular terminal because it'll be considered stolen. If you try to sell it at a legal terminal,
Right.
it'll give you less money than regular just bought cargo will.
Okay, interesting.
So
The
they've talked
second
about
one
that before.
was
Yep.
a player
gold
doing
commodity
a cargo
pirated
mission.
versus gold cargo mission pirated. That gold
Yeah.
cargo mission pirated will be worth less.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
how
the
I
second one
understood
was
it.
a player doing cargo mission loses the rep if pirated. Is that fair? What consequence for the pirate? Is there anything apart from the cargo being less? I mean, how does this rep system work? Have you seen any of the rep system in play yet?
No, because the rep doesn't
Not yet.
progress.
Yeah. We have no idea how much rep we have yet.
Yeah, that's the major bug, is that the rep doesn't progress at all. You can't get past the first mission in Evo.
Yeah.
So we don't know anything
do you
about
think
rep.
it's fair?
I think
The-
it's
the rep-
fair to lose the rep, but it has to be you really have to toe the line of like how much rep you're going to lose and how much the player who's doing the mission
Right.
is going to get punished. You know, like
And-
it needs to be balanced
So-
for sure. We just don't know how it's balanced
Yeah.
yet.
How often do you get pirated?
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see, but it could
Yeah.
also play into the whole exploit thing, right? Because I mean, pirated. The currently, I think they've got no way of understanding if you've been pirated legitimately or pirated for the sake of exploiting, right? And that was one of my concerns. Was okay, like,
Can you
if you're
describe
just gonna
pirated for the
exploit the
sake of
mechanic-
exploiting?
oh, like your friend just comes over and takes your cargo off your
Gotcha,
ship, the cargo you
gotcha.
got for nothing, right? I mean, that could be a
Well,
pretty good
it's
money maker.
likely not going to be worth it because the reward for completing the mission is going to be better than selling that cargo.
Right.
Like that's why you
interesting.
won't
Okay,
exploit it, right? So if you're
so the
getting
cargo doesn't have the same value as normal
No.
cargo.
correct. So it is more the cargo itself is worth less than the mission reward. And then that's how you sort of stop that. Is like, well, why would you bother trying to exploit that if it just traveling over here is going to make you more money?
But I
Okay.
still think
Um,
Expat's
the-
point is
yeah.
is that you're producing UEC out of nowhere, no matter how.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think using this system to exploit is insane. Simply because at the scale that it would be worth to exploit, right? Is all of these missions, as far as I understand, are manually loaded and unloaded outside of a hull C.
Yeah.
There is no
Okay.
going, because the only place that you do automated loading and unloading is through the commodity terminal, which is not where you interact with missions.
Yeah.
So
Right.
at the scale that you would want to do this at, the amount of boxes you would be moving manually, there's just better ways to make it.
Just go to a bounty mission.
Yeah. You may be right, but
Right.
and like we're all speculating here. My speculation is that you would be stupid to exploit this way, because it would just be way more time consuming than the value's worth, probably.
Do you imagine that people will deem it more satisfying to simply blow up that cargo hauler as opposed to even taking that cargo, just for the sake of
Honestly, probably.
it taking so much time for people to
Yeah.
get on these missions? And,
Yeah,
if
and
it's
the
not
people
worth their
maybe
time.
taking these missions are less experienced, perhaps.
Yep, but that's the sandbox stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
Okay.
sandbox of the game, and that's up to CIG to create places and trade routes that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. We know that there is the punishment of interacting with players cargo that you're not in a party with, and I do think that punishment needs to go up. But we'll see what happens with that in 324. So there's that, but
Right, so
most
you
likely
mentioned
you'll get
something
hit outside of a monitored zone anyway. So
Okay. You mentioned something about the cargo being tagged. So one of the comments I
Yep.
had was no cargo tagging, your ship ID, character permissions, and tracking, aka UPS, DHL package tracking. Could the tracker be hacked away? Cargo detonated over time limit for deeper piracy gameplay. Is there any kind of tracking on the packages? What kind of tracking is on the packages? Can you describe that?
The
Do you know?
tagging that we were describing is purely a like
This is
engine
a
tech
mission
way of
box.
describing it. Yeah.
This is a
The
mission cargo versus
yeah.
a commodity cargo. That's the only tagging.
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
like in law like tracking or anything like that. It's just this is how this item is
Right.
treated by the
Nothing
engine.
has changed essentially from what you have today. So like it
Mhm.
is salty. Like if I'm doing commodity trading, it is SaltEMike's cargo. If Croncy is in my party, but Expat is not, Croncy can interact with the cargo, but Expat cannot.
Yep.
Right. Okay. And then you've got and then my fourth point. There's only five, by the way, but it's cargo tracking and emergent mission generation for recovery of stolen cargo. Maybe alert goes out
Mm.
system wide with a finder's fee. So almost like playing into the bounty gameplay as well, but like bounty slash cargo. So it's not just you're going to pick up a guy, you're actually going to pick up cargo as well at the same time. So not only are you taking a bounty mission, but it's also like a bounty mission related to cargo. So it kind of like expands the bounty program as well. And if they have
Yeah.
the ability to track these boxes, I wonder if they've got the ability to track that those boxes have moved from ship to ship, whether it be
They
legally or
they
illegally.
definitely can because like previously you've been able to be scanned and be able to find out that that's illegal cargo, so they can at least do that. The one thing I will say, I don't know if they ever talked about it in a dynamic fashion, but what you are describing, they did talk about it in terms of like an NPC type mission before, where there is a like derelict bunch of cargo for you to retrieve and deliver. So I don't know if it's too much of a stretch to go between those two, where it's essentially the same gameplay, just turning it into player versus NPC. Maybe it is. I don't know, but I imagine it's on their radar.
Yeah, I just don't think it's on the coming in. It's more the coming
Yeah,
in
it's not on
1.0 than the coming
yeah.
in anywhere in the 4.3
Yeah.
range.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And the last point was: is there insurance for cargo? Is it purchasable? Will it be purchasable separate with the contract? And would there be benefits to doing that? And would there be downsides to doing that? Is that ever going to be something that you would imagine that they should introduce, like some kind of insurance policy
Yeah.
for the cargo operator? Bear in mind that you've spent a lot of time, you've loaded it on your ship,
Mhm.
and obviously the company that gave you the cargo, do they have insurance on it? What does that insurance entail? On your side, do you want to insure it for yourself? Where are the pros and cons in this? Because we know that people are going to blow up, right?
Mhm.
So what's going on with regards to people blowing up, and do they get anything back? I know there's no buy-in, so
I
If there's no
I don't
buy-in,
think
there's nothing to get back.
I don't think they're ever going to
right.
do that for NPC missions. But I really want them to, and maybe half expect them to allow us to do something like that when we are moving player commodities and
Yeah,
we're trading player commodities. If I'm
copy
moving
Eve.
Mike stuff, etc. Yeah.
Copy Eve. Do not stray from that whatsoever. That Eve is literally the perfect system. There is no better cargo player to player contract
Mm.
system than an Eve. It is simple, it is perfect, it works. The player
Yep.
says, these are the items that I'm moving that I would want you to move. This is the value of those items. I would like you to put up the collateral. The cargo hauler puts up the collateral of the value of the items. If they fail the
Mhm.
contract, all that money that goes to escrow, that's the collateral, goes to the person who made the contract. So you didn't get your
Yep.
items, but you got the value of them, so you can go buy them again or whatever. And the cargo
Yep.
hauler determines whether or not that contract is worth it for them to do it. That's a long-term thing. That's the thing I'd love to see in the game. There's no insurance. There's nothing like that in the game now. And yeah.
Yeah. On that topic, I actually got really excited watching them kind of creating a mission using that kind of Excel spreadsheet system.
Mhm.
I wonder if it's going to be like a good investment of their time to start enabling the Star Citizen backers to be able to do that within the game now, so that we can kind of fill out the sandbox with our own mission generation. And we might actually end up coming up with some good ideas and some gameplay loops that people really enjoy if we had access to the ability to make kind of player contracts and stuff like that. I mean, when do you think we'll ever see that kind of stuff, or do you think they're going to hold on to the keys for a lot longer?
No clue. That we should have
Yeah.
had refueling ones forever ago. Like, what's going on? I don't know. I would
Yep.
I would love to answer
It-
your question because it's what I want as well. You know.
yeah, I want once again the Eve contract manager.
Yeah.
That's essentially what that is. That's what I
It's
want.
so good.
It's just
Yeah.
It's so good. Because
Yeah,
like
definitely. There's been yeah.
it spawned literal companies in the game with websites that you send them what you want and they tell you what to put in the contract. They accept it. And I woke up the next, like I moved in Eve the other day to a dangerous place. I spent 2 million credits to send all the stuff, and that's nothing. I spent literally nothing to send all my stuff to this dangerous place. I wake up the next day, all my shit is at. I just wake up, it's there.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Mike only
Yeah,
spent 2
I
mil because he's
noticed,
actually got nothing good.
Well, yeah, I just had a cover. All I sent was one ship, basically. That's it. But
I noticed the what was it? The transport missions were removed a couple of patches ago, or maybe a patch ago, and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh damn, because I actually was one of the few people, I don't know, that actually used those, and hitchhiked around Stanton and things like that. And I don't know, it was just one of those things where maybe that system's being reworked. We'll see. I mean, hopefully.
who knows?
Hope
But
and cope.
Well,
yeah.
we do know it is being reworked for 4.0. They've mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
The whole
cool.
contract,
cool.
the whole contract system is being worked. So I imagine that stuff
excellent.
would be a part of it. Yeah.
Hopefully. But Expat, we'll let you go because
that's
we
pretty
got
much
15
it.
minutes left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
a few more callers, so we want to give them some time. But as
Thank you
always,
so
it's
much
always
for the
good
time,
talking.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to you
Cheers for
soon.
calling in. And guys, if you want to see Expat Brat play D&D with me and SaltEMike, it's happening soon.
Yes, I still have to do my thing.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Me too.
Awesome. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Oh, I was saying bye to you too as well. Weird. All right,
Bye.
our next caller is Spacemonkeybusiness.
Oh my
How you
God.
doing,
What's up,
Space Monkey?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Pretty good. Very tired.
Very tired. Oh my God.
I made Space Monkey wait today because he was definitely in line
No.
first, but I put him second.
It's okay. It's okay. I can totally understand that.
Yeah. Yep.
Being literally part of the digital furniture from that point on. So,
Yeah.
no, I want to stick to and just a really quick talk about the cargo stuff. So, I really like what they do. I mean, the first time you see some progression in it. But I really hope also that they will continue to make it a bit more deeper, because what I'm lacking a bit, and that's what I like about games like Valheim or like the old Metroidvania games, that you at some point get maybe an item or something that makes you able to continue in a certain way in the game, which you weren't before. So with cargo, it would be, at least for me, it would be really cool to have like a special component inside a cargo ship, like that allows you to, let's say you transport food, and there's a cooler component where you then be able to transport that kind of food, like you have in the
400i.
400i.
Give me a reason to use the 400i's 3-degree room.
Yeah, something like that would be really cool. Or you have like a unstable cargo, and then you have like a stabilizer component. I think that would be really cool. And you could also like specialize in cargo in a certain way. Nowadays you just like, okay, I can transport everything, but then you could maybe also make like a little career out of that, where you specialize in something and then even get bigger or better components that you enable that enable you more and more to do like specialized contracts. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I had a nice conversation about this the other day, and I hate bringing up Eve again because I'm sure it pisses people off, but I don't really care. They have some really good ideas, so shut up.
Yep.
The one of the things that they do is certain types of cargo ships can have much larger cargo holds for certain types of material. And one of the things that we were talking about that was like, damn, man, like, what does the Starfarer do now? Right? Because they talked about fuel being a commodity, but it also seems like fuel is going to be a commodity that's traded by all the cargo ships in
Yeah.
in this patch. So what?
But maybe
One way
maybe
to
it
make the
goes.
Starfarer better is that you're able to more efficiently carry more fuel and do
Yeah.
more
Yep.
of this trading via that ship than others because it specializes in it. So,
Yep.
like, is the Starfarer dead? It doesn't have to be, but they continue really trying to kill it by killing refueling and now not utilizing that for refueling stations or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say on that whole topic, Mike was talking earlier about a thing that got him excited in the monthly report about different different modules or whatever affecting things with your radar and scanning.
Yep.
So they are doing that stuff right now. They're just not doing it with that specific feature.
They
So
kind of are.
fully
They're doing
expect
it with the
that stuff's gonna
contain,
happen.
like what Space wants. They're showing us all these interesting containers. They're just not doing it with the ship. They're doing it with the container.
Yeah,
instead,
true. Yeah,
You know, so you might have refrigerated containers, but
Yeah.
using
rather
a
than a
specific
refrigerized
ship.
hold.
Yeah, using a specific ship because it has better atmospheric processing or something like that, so it's able to cool things better.
Yeah.
I could, where I could see that being a cool thing is available on all ships, but it's an engineering choice that you make.
Yeah, exactly. You choose that component, and then
Yeah.
you maybe need
Yeah.
somebody who's watching over it, because then you have something that is yours and that it's shown. With containers, it's a bit generic, which is also fine to do it
Yeah.
like this way. But there, it's more like, oh, that's mine, and I've earned that, and I can
Yeah.
show that somebody, or maybe like skin something like this. But
Yeah.
it's personal, some personalization in some
Yeah.
way. The other thing is, and then I'm off. What I'm missing also is, because we don't know what risk is at the moment with those contracts. Where's the incentive, or what incentive could there be to work with others? I mean, an escort is like a specialized incentive. Like, okay, that's a risky mission because I go from A to B and the space in between is pirated, so I need an escort. That's the classic. But what I would like to have is an incentive. Maybe, I mean, for bigger ships, an engineer for sure, because if something breaks and you are in a risky territory, you need to act or react pretty fast to get the ship up. What I also would like have missions where you maybe need to find a derelict ship and get the cargo out of that ship, and then
That's what I was just talking about with Expat. Yeah, they have talked about that before. It's just when we don't know when it's coming, but yeah.
But maybe also have like a dedicated scanning ship to find the derelict ship, because the scanners you can put in there are not capable enough. And all my favorite idea is use a mining ship. Maybe there is like a path where there are a lot of asteroids. You need to get to a station to drop them off, but on the way to it, you need to let asteroids explode, and that therefore need a mining ship to clear the way. That would be also really cool. Something like that.
Yeah,
he's designing a Squadron 42 mission or something, is what it sounds like.
Maybe we see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Okay,
they're all ideas for sure.
Yeah,
no idea.
I'm one of those that, like, when we start designing the gameplay, I usually, no offense, I tune out a little bit. It's more like the for me specifically around cargo, I think it's about the sandbox, how we're interacting with each other, piracy versus not, working together to move containers quicker together, things like that. This kind of gameplay is it's the very simple stuff that makes the game world's economy move, and I don't think we should overcomplicate it. I think we should make the game and the players decide how it all works and just let it flow and tweak things. Like the game designer should tweak it to make it flow in the way that they want.
I just don't want to get to a point where it might get a bit too dull and too repetitive at some point, because this also
this is the loop to get dull and repetitive, and people are going to love it. And
No,
like
no, no.
And
they
people
will
are gonna hate
exist,
it.
and
And
it's
the
going to be
people
a
that are
good
going to hate it are going to pay for people to contract and move their stuff. And people
No,
who
no,
are going to love it are going to build companies and make money off those people who don't like it. That's the whole point. The whole point is to be boring. And I think that's what people don't quite understand. The whole point is to take something from A to B. Maybe something happens in between. Hopefully not. And enjoy your Netflix show. There is some content in games that is supposed to be like that. We don't need explosions everywhere near us and all this crazy stuff. I think the idea that you have about the like bringing it to the point of like, all right, maybe I need to lower the temperature, stuff like that, the stuff you do before you leave, adding depth to that. I love that idea. But once we start making it so every time I go out, like there's going to be explosions and it's exciting and all that shit, I don't want that for this loop.
No, not every time, but maybe have the opportunity, like options, like the general gameplay can be dull, and for those people who are fine with that, also totally fine. Maybe it's like 80% of that, but maybe like a little bit off, a little bit specialization, a little bit variation would be cool.
But I
at
do
the end, not now, not
your
now.
first point though, like what is risk?
2 years.
What is risk, right? We still need to know what that actually means from them.
Yeah.
So that's why we're getting wild with like what risk could be, because they haven't really told us what risk is yet, right? And what they want it to be.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see it this week, maybe.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Let's see.
Yeah. All right, Space, we'll
guys.
let you go though. Thank you as always for your call. We always appreciate you. And sorry for pushing you back, but I think
it's
just
totally
for the show's sake, if we have the same caller first every time, I think it might get too
Yeah.
repetitive. So
There's your variation.
Exactly. I'm going to bounce you. You know we love you, but I'm going to bounce you around always for just the sake of keeping things fresh.
You know that you can do that with me, so that's fine.
I do. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers,
bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye now. He's the best. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's great.
And then AnticXz. That's how we say this? Yes. AnticXz is next.
AnticXz, how you doing?
Just so you know, Rapture, if you're waiting in the queue, we may or may not get to you. So apologize if we don't, okay?
Hello, guys.
Hey, AnticXz.
Howdy, what would you like to talk about?
Oh, man, I got a list, but I probably won't get through it all. Second time callers, so hopefully this time I have a little bit more time. Last time I called in, it was jam-packed. All right. I want to start off.
We got to finish in like 10 minutes, so.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll try to keep it quick. First, I'm a fan of Narc and Mike, and that stream yesterday, oh my god, dude, that was like a dream come true.
Two worlds
loved that
collided
stream
yesterday. Yeah,
because I've been an Ashes follower for like 3 years and a Star Citizen follower for like 10.
So you're just a copium addict.
Well, I'm tired of games that don't care,
Yeah.
and you see, that's kind of I can touch on that. No one wins if Ashes and Star Citizen fails.
Yeah,
like they're trying to push the industry forward. Like they're actually trying to push the industries forward, like we believe Blizzard did in probably before 2000. They actually pushed the MMO genre way forward with their more
not
basic
before 2000, but somewhere it was more like
everything like
2002, but
everything like pre-Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah.
Wow, it was 2004. Okay.
Yeah, WoW was 2004.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back to like my friends in college playing it, and so just from this stream. So Narc is a Ashes of Creation streamer YouTuber, and I went on a show and we talked about server meshing together because they did server meshing as well. But I called WoW the Fortnite of MMOs, where it like dumbed things down and made all people like it more and made it more popular in comparison to like battle royales.
And I'm younger, so I never got to experience the hard MMOs, and that's what I'm hoping both Star Citizen and Ashes
that's still hard.
turn to. Yeah, I'm hoping, I'm really hoping for games like both Ashes and Star Citizen that you grind for a long time to accomplish something, because it depending on how the gameplay is balanced, but I feel like the longer it takes to get something, the more you want to protect it.
Yeah. But I will
Just
try
in
to get you
general.
on topic of like the 324 cargo missions, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if any of that stuff's on your list, touch on that first.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, the stream was awesome yesterday. It was fun.
It was amazing. So we were all very surprised by that SCL, and where they seem to finally start thinking about how the economy ties into the game. And I mean, we obviously don't have space transportation in real life yet, but that movement from system to system, system to planet, planet to output, or planet to distribution, distribution to outpost, it seems like that is a lot better tied up into the star sim. Oh boy, here we go. Right, whatever Quanta, whatever star sim is tied into, that seems like it's way, way, way more easy to tie into and more lightweight, but also makes more sense.
Yeah, they're giving the information needed to make a dynamic economy. So it's like
it feels like
almost like they're trying to make the game. Yeah,
it feels like they're starting to put things in place that allow them to make the game.
Exactly.
Finally. So, have you guys got to mess with them at all?
We are only. Yeah, so they must have us on mute, the callers, because they're all asking the same question.
No, I've been in and out. I haven't been watching the stream.
It's all good. In Evo, their cargo missions are in, but the progression doesn't work. So you complete the first entry level one, and it just stops there.
It just doesn't do anything. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think we all have a pretty good idea how they work. You go to a place, you put stuff on your ship, you take it, you unload it, and you get paid.
Yeah, and which some you go to multiple places, pick up and drop off at one. Some you go to one and drop off at multiple. That's really the only difference.
Which sounds boring, but man, I know orgs of people that want to do that stuff.
I am one. Yep.
Oh man, for sure. No,
wait till I get my spreadsheet out so I can simulate my perfect amount of profits every time I'm going to certain locations.
Correct. Well, there's a couple websites that do that. I won't shout one out that I'm a part of, but they're awesome. They're definitely awesome. Well, that sucks that you can't go past the first one
for now.
Well, yeah, it could be completely different in like 18 hours, no, not 18 hours, but like 28 hours time or whatever.
Oh yeah, they'll probably get a patch out Monday or Tuesday for you guys.
It's Evo life. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think all the cargo elevator questions have been answered by 25 different content creators over the last week as well. Basically.
You can still ask them.
We talked a lot about them last week as well.
Yeah, and I watched the stream last week, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else specifically 324 related that I have a question about, but
it's hard to answer because nothing happened and the hangars are just fucked.
Yeah.
So it's very much the like I had the whole weekend to test, and I tested for about 6 hours, and I got 2 missions done, and that's where I stopped. Because there's nothing else to do right now. You just wait for the next patch to try to go deeper.
I think the coolest thing I found out, or I think I learned through one of you guys, is the large hangars and extra large hangars. 2 people can interact with their own freight elevators at a station at one time.
Found medium.
Oh, medium have 2 as well.
Yeah, medium have 2 freight elevators as well.
Oh, really? Okay, that's huge actually, because that's not limited to like the whales. That's actually huge for the game.
So just small does not. That's it. Because there's just not enough room. But yeah, medium has 2 as well. I didn't realize that because medium was one of the few I didn't have myself. And somebody just mentioned the cargo amounts in medium, but never said that there were 2. There's actually 2.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That's actually great, actually. That's huge. That's huge for implications.
Yep.
And org cooperation, basically.
Hell yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
So that's all I have for 324. I want to jump into one server meshing thing real quick.
Sure.
And then I'll be out of here.
All right.
So I am concerned from a technical perspective because I guess I consider myself a technical person. The replication layer specifically, when Copium, put on the Copium mask, everyone. When we get to like 5 systems and theoretically, hopefully 1,000, 2,000 players per system, I don't know how one replication layer is going to handle all of that. They must have a plan. They must have like a replication layer V2 or be able to split it horizontally onto more services, whatever. Yeah. But I'm really concerned that one service can't handle 10,000 players and another 10,000 NPCs across 5 systems. It just seems like so much data that it's not possible.
When did this concern start?
As soon as they started doing the replication layer stuff.
Not this week. You did not have the feelings this week. You know why I'm saying that.
Yes, because...
So the reason I'm saying that is because Ashes of Creation has server meshing as well. Apparently, they say. They showed a PowerPoint. They haven't shown much else than that. And are basically saying that the way we do replication layer is not good, and they decided to do it a different way.
So
They
I
don't
can
think the
actually go-
one fail point is good. They think it's
Yeah,
bad.
I can go into that a little bit. The reason I think they
A very
can
little
get
bit,
away with
please.
that, yes. The reason their game's basically 2D compared to ours,
Yeah,
and they know how big their grids can be, basically.
exactly.
And that's why I think they can get away with it, because the number of server edges connecting to each other is known. Theoretically, with Star Citizen, it's unknown.
Yeah.
And that's why. But I did have that concern years ago, and then I did watch the Ashes stream, and it re-brought that thought up in my head.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I'm honestly, I'm less concerned about scale than I am just with like the initial implementations.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like
scale is everything, Croncy.
no,
If you
I'm
can't get
saying
the
I
players
have
in the
I
game,
think I
there's
have
no game.
more faith. I'm saying I think I have more faith that they will be able to scale it up easier. But I don't have a lot of faith that the initial implementation is going to be good for like any amount of time. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's going to be one of those things that takes a really long time to fix. And when they get it right, it's probably going to be okay to scale up quickly. But I also know like absolute shit all about programming. So
the only thing I know about programming is they've been trying to scale this game since 2015 and they still haven't done it yet. So I don't know why we have any confidence that they're able to do it and do it well.
This year.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
The only thing that will build my confidence is whenever they do the next server meshing playtest and it works better than the last one. Until they do that, my confidence remains like this guy's on the screen. He's like, "Oh, it worked. Oh shit, no way." So,
oops.
I'm gonna channel my Clive, basically until that happens. So
yeah. I think once they get static, I think that's a problem for like dynamic V2 maybe, or dynamic V1. Like when the replication layer starts being the problem, then they'll work on that. Then they'll work on dynamic 2. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking there's no way this can handle 10,000 players and 30,000 NPCs. It seems like way too much data.
Yeah, fair enough. But we're gonna leave it there, AnticXz, because I have this hard stop. I gotta go in like 10-15 minutes. Plus, I have to get this up on YouTube in that time.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
no, that ended well. That was a good
you got
time.
screwed twice on both your calls. I'm sorry, man.
I'll call in again. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure.
I'll call in again.
We look forward to it.
And we do. We do.
Ban it
look
from the
forward
Discord. Ban it from the Discord.
Quick. All right, AnticXz, we'll let you go, though, so we could say goodbye to everybody, and we appreciate your call, and hopefully the next time we talk is with server meshing working well.
Hopefully.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys.
Later.
Gotcha, mate. Have a good one.
All right, so that was AnticXz. That was a shorter answer to the call. And, again, I think it was probably going to fall around this time anyway, just because it's a little tough week for Evo, a little tough week. I think we were all probably hoping Wave 1 by now, but no. So we'll see.
Or at the very least, a like thicker Evo, you know, just like
more
being able to experience more of the missions and stuff.
Yeah, like dude, I went I went down. I did the biggest cargo mission. It was crazy. I worked with all my friends. The whole server we did it. You know, nah. I moved 6 boxes and I opened the hangar and it was invisible. So it was tough. But that's what I got this week. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment on any of this stuff. We appreciate it. We're at 4,500 subs, not too far away from 5,000. Very quickly, very nice. We appreciate it. And thanks for all the love over the last little bits. If you want to go above and beyond, there's the join button as well. And we look forward to doing more fun stuff like that. But Croncy, if you can't tell, I'm feeling a little down. I just want this stuff to go. I've been waiting a month for this. I got my one cargo mission in. I'm pretty happy about it,
and now they're teasing you too.
It's like, you could do just
a
one.
Little bit.
You could do them, but you can only do one. So I did one multiple times, but I just kept recopying. That's what I just did.
I'm excited for it too. I was surprised how much I enjoyed myself doing just like that one. So looking forward to hopefully a good week.
Yeah, man. So with that said, everybody, don't forget
to answer the call.
Yeah.